Welcome to Gratefully Gifted, a podcast for gifted kids made by gifted kids because we do think it's great to be gifted. On today's episode, we will learn about cooking. You will even hear an interview with Chef David, who is a cook at Paula Deen's restaurant. So let's get started as we learn about cooking on today's episode.
But first, some fun. For this segment, I want to share a few jokes with you. Why are cooks so harsh? They are always beating eggs. How does a penguin chef make pancakes? With their flippers. How do you know the French fry wasn't made in France? It was cooked in Greece. Have you heard about the fight in the kitchen? A fish got battered. Baking paper is something I forgot to buy. I guess my cooking will be foiled. What type of knife do you use to connect to Bluetooth? A paring knife. What is the true color of Coca-Cola if there were no artificial colors? Answers: green, yellow, or orange. If you guessed green, then you were correct. What is the world's largest ice cream company? Here are some answers: Baskin-Robbins, Ben & Jerry, or Brahms. Have your answer? If you said Baskin-Robbins, then you're correct. What religion doesn't allow eating beef? Buddhism, Hindu, or Judaism? The answer is Hindu. I hope you had some fun and maybe learned something new along the way.
Now it's time for talking time. Today we will interview David Flores, a chef at Paula Deen's restaurant. Welcome to Gratefully Gifted, Mr. David.
Okay, we have David Flores on the line here, and we're gonna ask him questions about cooks. What was your inspiration to be a chef?
To be a chef, hi everybody. To be a chef, my inspiration was the first time I stepped into a restaurant, I was actually a dishwasher. And then I didn't want to do dishes. I didn't want to be, kind of like when you're at home, when your mama tells you, hey, it's time for you to do the dishes. I was like, ah. But on a bigger scale, I didn't want to do dishes my whole life. And I saw some of the cooks on the line, prepping meals and cooking burgers and cooking steaks and prepping a lot of good food. So I was like, man, I want to do that. What can I do to do that? And then I got the opportunity to start cooking. And when I took my first bite on a burger that I made myself for me when they fed me, right there it clicked more. I want to be a chef. I want to be able to cook my own food, cook for other people, and make people happy through food. So that was the thing that inspired me to be a chef or a cook.
That's cool. So, okay, what is it like working at a restaurant?
Do you mean overall or working on the kitchen?
Like both overall and
Overall, and well, I mean, it's a big deal. A lot of people don't get to see what we really do in the restaurant business. Nowadays, I've been doing this, working in restaurants for about 22 years now. Working 5 out of those 22 for Paula Deen's. So there's a lot of things. I mean, you have to, like I always said, you have to love stress to work in the restaurant. But it has to be an organized stress, right?
yeah.
I hope you understand what I mean by organized stress. You can be screaming like crazy, kicking everywhere and yelling at everybody, and not getting things done. In the restaurant, It has to be a little bit more organized because you have to feed people. You have to be able to greet people, starting from the host. Then whenever you walk into a restaurant, you have to feel welcome as a guest. And or hosts, if you're the host, you have to make them feel welcome. And then whenever our guests leave or people leave the restaurant, the last person is gonna get in contact is the host. So you have to make eye contact and make them feel welcome. And please come back and see us again, right?
Yeah.
So that's one aspect. The other one, right after you get in the restaurant, the building, to be seated and then see the environment and the ambience of the restaurant makes a big deal. How you gonna approach your meal. Having a good server. When I say a good server, a well presented individual, that they looks good, presentable, be able to explain the menu, whatever you're about to eat. To that point, it's just the experience that people get. And it has to be, when the server takes the order, it goes back to the kitchen, and it's organized stress. Everybody's cooking. You see fire everywhere. You get the fryers going. You get the beepings from some monitors going on. You get the chef yelling orders. You get the cooks cooking, the salad person making salads, the expediter grabbing the food and trays. So it's a lot of chaos, but it has to be organized. So that's what's happening in the restaurants, So it's kind of like if you guys get a chance to see a ballet or an orchestra, all the sounds, all those drums and guitars, but everything is organized and it's a nice symphony or melody or song or dance. It's kind of what's working on the restaurant, from the moment that we prepare, receive the food to the way you prep it and cook it and serve it and deliver it to your guests, and for the guest point of view, be able to enjoy your time at the restaurant, have a great meal. So that's what it's kind of like being in the restaurant business. I don't know if it makes sense to you or not.
Yeah. Hopefully it does make sense, because if it doesn't, then that would be a problem.
Right?
What is your favorite thing to make as a chef?
Wow, that's a good question, Elliot. I get a lot of people that they ask me the same question, and the answer that I have for this, and I hope it makes sense to you, is that the favorite thing that I get to make, that I like to cook, is the thing that I have never done.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah, so it's like, it's new.
Yes. Yeah, you got it.
It's new and challenging.
New. Exactly. So part of being a chef or a cook is that you do things and you get everything done by repetition. So I talked earlier about me. My inspiration was when I took the first bite of my burgers. Like, I cook burgers for myself for 5 days, 2-3 times a day, until I got one that I really like. So it's a repetition. I had to cook a burger, had to make a pizza, had to make the dough, had to make marinara sauce, had to make pesto, had to cook a steak. Now that I learned how to cook a steak, has to make it rare, medium well done. So everything is repetition. So you do one thing, you do it over and over for several times, that it becomes kind of like a part of you, for say, it becomes a muscle memory. So I love food. I enjoy making things, but my favorite thing is the one thing that I have not done, because I can learn about it. I can learn about the food. I can practice enough to make it good and to develop my skill better and to make it what I feel. Food is never going to be perfect. There's so many different chefs out there that they get rated by the stars or Michelin stars, and they think that their food is perfection.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
they're not
to me,
perfect.
perfection, it doesn't exist. Yeah, it does not exist. I mean, perfection, I think,
is perfection. Nobody's perfect.
No, I mean, to me, perfection is a tomato, right? God created things. So to me, a nice ripe tomato, that's perfection. To
Uh-huh.
me, a nice piece of parsley or cilantro or avocado, nice ripe avocado, flavor good, that's perfection. Our job as a cook or as cooks is to create something that people will not forget and it becomes food. So, yeah, yeah, that's my answer. The thing that I have not done yet or cooked yet, that's my favorite thing.
Okay. Is there anything that is hard to make?
I think everything is hard to make as long as you apply yourself and then learn how to do it. I think it becomes easier. But I think when I started cooking steaks, that was a little harder for me.
So steaks is like the hardest thing that you made.
Yes.
So yeah. Have you ever gotten an order wrong?
Yes, I did. Actually, yesterday, we serve here at Paul Dean's restaurant groups of 45, 50 people at the same time, for different time frames. And then I mixed the orders in two groups. They were back to back. So one got extra meats and the other one was different meat that they ordered. But they were happy. You make mistakes like anything else in your life, we just kind of own them and be apologetic, learn about it, and move forward. So yeah, I have make a few mistakes.
Yeah, so mistakes make you better,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay, how do you stay calm when the restaurant is full?
By knowing that all my staff is well trained, and then I have trained them well to do and execute the job. So I rely on the person behind me to know that he or she is going to do a good job to get the job done, because we have the previous training with and the job, and they know what to do.
Okay, so you're just gonna trust your staff.
Yeah, trust them that they're going to be able to do the job that I taught them how to do.
All right, that's a good answer. Okay, question
Yeah.
8. Have you ever had to cook for a food critic?
No, not for a food critic. I think my food critics, I have been able to have interviews for newspapers, but not for food critic. No, I have not.
What is your favorite thing about your job?
Overall, or
Yeah.
like working in the kitchen.
Oh,
I think for me, my favorite thing is just to be able to execute a plan and be organized about it. The plan is getting food into the restaurant
mm-hmm.
and then be able to cook, prepare the meals and cook for guests, for people. Yeah, that's my favorite part.
Oh, that's question. I feel like I have to ask a chef, but what is your favorite food?
I think anything and everything. I like to eat everything. I don't have a favorite food, but lately I've been eating a lot of Greek yogurt with granola. That's my go-to snack.
Yeah, I
for
love
the
that.
past 3-4 weeks.
And when you add
you put a little,
the little chocolate.
Yeah, you put a little chocolate shavings on top of it. Oh man, that's good stuff.
Yeah, it's so good. Sometimes you eat it for breakfast too.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Mr. David, for sitting with us today and talking a life of a chef.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Working in the kitchen.
I'm bored, now what? Today I'll be teaching you how to make microwave peanut brittle. Make sure to do this with adult supervision. First, you will need a microwave, 1 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of light corn syrup, 1 cup of raw peanuts, 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. First, you also need a large baking sheet. Spray the large baking sheet with non-stick cooking spray, or you can just use butter. Set it aside for now, you'll need it later.
Get a large microwave-safe bowl and stir together the sugar and corn syrup. Microwave the mixture for 4 minutes. The sugar will boil. Carefully add the peanuts and butter. Use a heat-proof utensil or to stir and combine. Return the bowl to the microwave and cook for an additional 3 to 5 minutes or until caramel colored. The mixture will need to reach between 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Remove from the microwave and add the vanilla and baking soda. Stir quickly to combine. The mixture will foam up. Stir just enough to get all the baking soda combined, but don't overstir. The bubbles foam is what gives the brittle, the light texture of the butter. Yeah. Stirring too much will get rid of that. Quickly and carefully pour the mixture onto the prepared pan. Use a silicone spatula sprayed with a non-stick cooking spray and spread the mixture on the pan. Allow to cool for 15 minutes in a cool space before breaking. Thanks.
Well, that is all for today. We hope you enjoyed this episode and learned some things you didn't already know. If you enjoyed it, please share it with others and like and subscribe where you listen to this podcast. We appreciate your support, and if you would like to reach out to us with other topic ideas, just email us at gratefully-gifted. This is with no spaces at bransonk12.mo.us. We all feel grateful to be gifted, and we hope you do so as well, because being gifted is great.